Welcome to a podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Calvin, and on the line is my co-host, Nick, and a special guest from the Go Postal podcast. You've heard her here before when we talked about online dating, Karla.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Hey, you doing awesome.
Yeah, doing great.
All right, so this is an interesting episode. We're actually doing a crossover with Go Postal. So if you don't like the way we put it together, go over to Go Postal and listen to it again on their feed, because we both posted it, and actually just listen to it on both anyways, because it's great either way.
Exactly.
And today we are talking about obscure sports.
Yes, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hear your guys' sports.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I'm ready to hear what y'all got.
We each picked a sport, and then after we each go through our sport, kind of the history, where it's played, world records, those types of things, we're going to dip into a little bit of Karla's format from the Go Postal podcast, and she's going to do some boobs, booze, and bizarre. So we got a great show, lots of obscure sports to talk about. I'm going to get us kicked off with the sport of oddle oddle. Has anyone heard of that?
I have heard of that. The old oddle oddle.
Oh, yes. You probably have heard about it. You probably studied the sling throwing for your story you're telling.
I may have looked at it once or twice. I don't remember.
Seems like
exactly
it could come in handy in that world.
Kevin, how
That
do you,
is
or
a
Calvin,
fantastic point.
how do you spell that? Addle.
It's ATL, all one word.
Yeah, I remember working on something in a museum called an addle, and it's like an ancient tool that was used by indigenous peoples in North America. So I'm curious to see how that plays into a sport. I'm very excited.
Yeah. So the oddle, and you're pronouncing it wrong. That's why you couldn't find it.
Fair.
Yeah, you suck. So it is like you said. It was a tool used for throwing spears. It's like this sling type of thing. It's got a hook on one end, and then it's just kind of like a long shaft, and you stick the spear into it, and you kind of throw it. And so that obviously grew into a game where people aim at targets or try to throw it long distances. It's kind of similar to javelin a little bit. It's like javelin mixed with archery. And there's still competitions that go on all over the world. It's a pretty cool thing. So they set up targets at different distances from the firing line to, test to see who can throw the farthest. And also they kind of have accuracy based contests. Sometimes the target will be like your generic bullseye. Other times it'll be shaped like wild animals, and you get more points for hitting different parts of the animal, things like that. So there's some modern competitions where the contestants, they'll each throw 10 times at a bullseye target, and whoever obviously gets the highest points wins that competition.
That sounds awesome.
So it sounds like they could survive in the wilderness if they had to. It's derived from survival skills.
Yeah, you take out some big game.
Yeah, that'd be one way to take it down. I mean, a gun would probably be easier, but
out here
if you needed to, you
could
could use this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wonder if, since it was pioneered by indigenous people, like when you play, you're just like, oh, I like fire, you just go back to your caveman instincts whenever you're out there target shooting with an addle.
I could see that happening.
If you try it out, please let me know, because, I mean, I always want to get in touch with my inner caveman. He's pretty sweet.
There's a website, the worldoddleoddle.org. So that has all the upcoming competitions, gives you a little background on the games, how it's played today, all kinds of stuff. So it's worldatl.org. All kinds of information there. Check it out. The oddle as a tool was popular. It's an Aztec word, and it was a weapon used for hunting, as we've talked about, like as early as the 16th century. But now there's mostly competitions in the U.S. and Europe and Australia, and even some U.S. colleges have teams. The ones I could find are Grinnell College, Pierce University, Alfred University, and the University of Vermont. So if anybody listening goes to any of those colleges, shout out, go join the oddle team.
I was going to say, there's a reason no one's ever heard of those, because they have addle teams, except for University of Vermont, which, by the way,
I was going to say University of Vermont's pretty solid school,
but it does not have a football team. I don't know if you knew that.
They do not.
It's the only one.
Team? They have an addle team and not a football team.
I used to live right near Burlington, so I have an unruly amount of University of Vermont knowledge, so I did know that they don't have a football team.
Well, I feel like
They're
the
the
odd man out here.
Catamounts. So I try to look up like world records or best teams, anything like that. There's not a lot of information. There is a international standard accuracy competition, which that was established in 1996, and that kind of standardized the rules and events for atlatls. The top players, I couldn't find any names of top players, but they can hit targets from up to 325 feet away. That's 100 meters for anybody who doesn't live in the U.S. And there have been some throws that have been recorded almost 850 feet or 260 meters.
Jesus! Oh my God!
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I'm kind of awestruck there.
I'd like to see Pat Mahomes throw an atlatl.
Yeah, that's the new world record right there. That'll never be
Yeah.
broken. He just throws it to the moon, fucks up the orbit.
Starts orbiting the Earth.
So we want to talk a little bit about why I chose it. I chose this sport pretty much. So I have this book, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, that I got from an ex-girlfriend, and it's just a book of pretty much every sport ever created. And I kind of just opened it to a page, and this was on that page. So I chose it. It had a fun name, you know, and I just thought it was cool. I always like target sports. It's fun to see people get good at target sports, because that is an insane amount of training to get yourself to hit something that small. And then I feel like target sports always lend themselves great to trick shots. So I haven't looked into it yet, but I'm sure there's a great trick shot community around the atlatl world.
Throwing it between your legs real quick.
That's exactly what I was picturing. Like over your, like backwards over your shoulder. It just sounds like a recipe for extreme pain and disaster.
Yeah, you got to do it on a really open field, I would think. You can't have a lot of spectators around.
Do the jumping 360 atlatl. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, like
it can't be worse than this year's dunk contest.
You know, I was reading your live Twitter feed, and I'm just like, you know, I'm really glad I did not watch that this year.
Yeah, it's a good skip on your part. All right, Karla, what sport did you pick?
Okay.
I've been waiting all day, actually for like 2 weeks to hear.
I chose a very serious sport called extreme ironing.
Dang!
Ooh, I've heard of ironing before.
There's
done
a
it,
few
but I've heard of it.
options. Yeah, there's a
It's
few
wild.
options, and I'm like, do I want to do extreme ironing or chess boxing? But I feel like more people know about chess boxing, so I went with
I've
this.
never heard of either of these. I am so excited to hear this one's good.
So it's actually pretty simple. Essentially, you have to iron a shirt in an extreme location. So, yeah. So I'll explain a little bit further. So today...
I went to Wikipedia, and the first picture on Wikipedia is a dude standing on top of a very thin rock formation. Ironing.
Yep, that is a thing. So
who thinks of this shit?
Well, I'll tell you. I will let you know.
Yeah, we need some background info on this.
Okay, so today the Extreme Ironing Bureau defines the sport as a combination of the thrill of an extreme outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed shirt. Yep.
I've never been that satisfied with a well, like I'm good just pulling it out of the dryer and putting it on.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
The rules at the Extreme Ironing World Championship state that the actual ironing does count in these competitions. Ironists, by Phil Shaw, the creator of the sport, wrote in his book, are sometimes so absorbed in getting themselves into some sort of awkward or dangerous situation with their ironing board that they forget the main reason that they are there in the first place, to rid their clothing of creases and wrinkles. So, the quality of the pressing counts for 60 of 120 points, style counts for 40 points, and speed for 20. So that is how it is rated.
Where does the judge go? Because like in this picture, there's no one else around except this guy on top of the rock.
Well, and obviously there's a shot or a picture of it, but now this was at the championship, so that's how it was actually judged. I feel like this is almost like planking, where there's no real rules about when you do it individually, but when it's at a championship, there are specific rules. So where it's most popular, extreme ironing clearly has been done all over the world. It did start in Leicester, England by Phil Shaw in 1997. So he was bored of ironing his shirts inside. So he took his ironing outside.
enough.
Yeah, it can get dull. So he took his ironing outside to his back garden. His roommate asked Phil what the heck he was doing, and Phil replied, "Extreme ironing." Thus, the sport was born.
Also known as EI in
Yes.
some regions.
Yep, EI.
Very,
that was
very
my
clever abbreviation.
Yeah, that was my
You EI, bro? You out here, EI?
that was literally my next sentence was, quote unquote, EI enthusiasts have taken it everywhere from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, South Africa, Japan,
Shit.
Croatia, Chile, the Black Forest of Germany, the French Alps, Times Square, Mount Rushmore, and even the depths of the ocean. Yes, there has been underwater extreme ironing.
I feel like this is going to run itself full circle someday, and the extreme ironers are just going to be like in their house while their wife yells at them.
And then they'll be like, actually, I think I really liked Mount Kilimanjaro better. It was quieter.
It was way nicer.
It was a
out
lot easier to do this underwater.
there. It was quiet down there.
Yes. Better view.
Okay.
Wife's really let herself go. Sorry.
You said it, not me.
So a few other extreme locations include the top of a tree, a rock climbing wall, and in a fast-moving canoe. Now, whenever possible...
I feel like the tree would be the hardest. There's not a good ground for the...
And where is this tree located? Is it Africa and you got monkeys
kind of tree
swinging
is it?
at you?
Is it an
so
oak?
yeah.
Is it a pine?
Is it in the middle of summer? Is it, have
Palm
no
tree?
leaves? Yeah, they
Palm
tree? What are the
need
bugs
more
like?
information about this. So whenever possible, irons are plugged into a nearby outlet for several minutes, then unplugged when the activity begins. Cordless irons are also used, but they are a last resort because they
I
don't
would feel
get
you
as
could get
hot
a
as the real thing.
battery-powered iron.
Yeah. So it's the cordless ones, battery powered. But it's even been said that people will lug along generators so that they could plug in their iron. I mean, I really don't like ironing in the first place, and I'm not a big, mountain climber. So the thought of doing chores and climbing up a mountain just sounds like hell.
Yeah, that's adding two things together that I don't enjoy. I'm with you there. I don't want to climb a mountain. I don't want to iron my shirts. I'm out on EI.
Yep.
I'll do the mountain climbing, but why would you ruin it with ironing while you're out there? I just want to sit and do nothing.
Take in your scenic views, have a good hike. Like, you don't need to bring around chores.
And I really
then
got to
these
iron
guys
my work shirt on Monday.
Well, plus you got to bring your generator with you just to have enough power. Like, that's not worth it.
No,
Yeah,
definitely not.
Generators are big.
And not good for the environment.
No, but mostly not good
Yeah.
for your sanity. So world record holders and best teams, these kind of exist. So the first and only so far extreme ironing world championship was held in Germany in 2002 and was judged by a white-gloved panel of German homemakers. They said a second world championship could come soon because Phil Shaw's coming out of retirement. Yeah.
Thank God for that.
80 teams from.
Is it televised?
I would hope so. It's
I
on.
feel like it'd be on the Travel Channel or something.
Yeah, that or ESPN
MTV.
Ocho.
The Ocho. What's up, Cotton?
So 80 teams from 10 countries competed on an obstacle course. This is where the rules come in, the official rules. Arrayed in the shape of an iron, pressing boxer shorts and blouses while scaling a climbing wall, hanging from a moss-covered tree branch, and squeezing under the hood of a car.
Huh.
So Phil Shaw, who is the creator of the sport, and his team won the championship. Surprise, surprise. And a German competitor also won a gold medal. So yeah, that's how they do it. And so I guess world records, depends on those style points, speed and neatness. So, if you really pay attention to those collars and those cuffs, man, you're set. You're set.
So
You gotta
you
get
make
the
that work.
T section on the back, too. That's the hardest part. Learned that in 7th grade. Shout out home ec teacher. I don't remember your name.
They'd be proud right now. They'd be really proud.
Yeah.
They're like, yes.
Haven't ironed a shirt since.
So
right.
why did I choose it? Because these people are insane and they love doing something so ridiculous and they do take their sport very seriously. So I do have...
Yeah, it really sounds like it.
Yeah, well, just wait. This Phil Shaw guy, he is above and beyond. So here's a quote for him. Our aim is to have the level of recognition that it becomes an Olympic sport. If you can have synchronized swimming and curling, I think extreme ironing has as much to offer. It would be the first Olympic sport in which the athletes did not use their real names. In order to avoid the ridicule of our peers, Shaw said, him and his compadres adopt pseudonyms. And he did write a how-to book, Extreme Ironing. So Mr. Shaw is called Steam. Others are Cool Silk, Iron Mike, Fe, the chemical symbol for iron, Jeremy Irons, and Iron Lung.
I like that one.
Yeah. Let's
Those
face
are
it.
all priceless.
They all sound a bit like
You're
porn names.
still
I'm
getting
not going to
ridiculed
lie.
by your friends. A little bit.
Yeah, they definitely sound like porn star names for sure.
Like, if you didn't want to be ridiculed by your friends, like, maybe don't make up a sport where ironing is the
Is the
Yeah, no
objective.
shit.
end game of it.
And don't ask me to call you Steam. 'Cause you'll never hear
Yeah, I'm
the
going to
end
make
of
fun of you more for being called Steam than for ironing on top of a tree.
it.
I mean-
Yeah,
Cool
I-
Silk isn't bad. Cool Silk isn't bad. I think I could take
sounds
that
like a
one.
jazz musician.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yep.
name. I call it TM.
You got it.
It's all yours.
I don't think anybody's going to... These guys aren't fighting you over anything, that's for sure.
I hope not. I'm scared now. I'm just gonna show up to my door. I'm just gonna iron my shirt real quick and leave. What do you think now, bro?
You know, you could create a extreme ironing with the Mormons, like when they come, just be like, "Can I iron your shirt for you?" and just do it right there. Now that's a whole new thing, like getting to iron someone else's shirt. You know, those shirts usually
While
fit.
it's on them.
This may hurt a little bit.
You said it, not
you
me.
can do that without burning them. You win.
Oh man, you just took it to a whole nother level. So I did have.
That'll be
Uh-huh.
that'll be part of the Olympics. Once it gets in the Olympics, you'll have to be doing that.
Oh man.
This will be all the rage.
So I do have a notable mention, because I did live in the UK for a couple of years, and I did meet some people who knew other people who did this. So it's the Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake, and this is an annual Jesus, if I could speak tonight, an annual event held on the spring bank holiday at Cooper's Hill near Gloucester in England. So what they do is from the top of a hill, a 7 to 9 pound round of double Gloucester cheese, which is freaking delicious, is sent rolling down the hill, and competitors essentially hurl themselves down the hill after it. The first person over the finish line at the bottom of the hill wins the cheese. The competitors are aiming to catch the cheese. However, it has a 1 second head start and can reach speeds up to 70 miles per hour. And if you get the
Jesus.
opportunity, watch a YouTube video on this because it is the most hilarious thing you will ever see.
God, that's tossing people like ragdolls who get stuck with that. Oh my gosh.
People willingly do it. They come from all over the world to do this. So I just had to mention that because it's pretty awesome. I just couldn't do an entire segment on it. Chase a roll of cheese or real cheese down a hill.
I think they did that on The Amazing Race one time.
That sounds amazing, racy.
It
Yeah.
wasn't pretty.
No, no, it's not. All right. Well, Calvin, do you have one for us? Or no,
Calvin
Nick.
already
Sorry,
talked.
sorry.
It's Nick's turn.
Sorry.
It's
Nick.
my turn.
See, that's what I get
Um,
for writing this down and then switching it on me.
Oh my.
It was
my
Nick's fault. He was too scared to go first.
God, so mean. Okay. My obscure sport that I chose is Jaialai. Jaialai. I think I'm too, Midwestern to say it right, and that's all right. But it's an interesting game that kind of adds a little. It's not as extreme as extreme ironing, but you can die playing it, so I think that definitely puts it a little below. It's played in a round robin format on a court with 3 sides. So you got it left, front, and back. If a ball touches the floor outside of these boundaries, it is considered out. I don't think I'd really like to play it because these teams are huge. So just imagine you got to switch off all the time. It's like giving up the sticks when you got the hot hand at Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's crazy. They have it down in South Florida where I live. There are plenty of highlight courts. I've never been to one, but I want to. And you can like go and bet on these things too. It's crazy.
It's something where it kind of. I mean, it's been around since the 14th century, so it's been
Whoa.
around forever. And I guess the rules have been relatively the same the whole time. Which for a game where you essentially throw a ball at a wall, it's a pretty complicated. First to 7 points wins, which I guess is easy, but it's getting there. If you fail to serve the ball directly at the front of the wall, if you somehow miss this big wall, I guess, you get a point. If someone doesn't rebound it, like your team doesn't rebound it when they throw it back at you, you lose a point. If you hold or juggle the ball in this big basket thing that you have on your arm, you lose a point. If you interfere with someone else, you lose a point. So I guess it's really easy to lose a point, which I would lose 50 points before I scored one, because you got this little curved banana-looking basket on your right hand, which I guess it always has to be played with on the right hand, and you're throwing a ball made of metal wire wrapped in goat skin at a wall. Yeah, I mean, so imagine like a metal, a metal wire ball wrapped in goat skin being thrown at a concrete barrier with it's like horizontal lines that you have to make it inside a certain line.
It's really like extreme wall ball.
Exactly. Death ball.
Except people die.
Yeah, big time. So basically the name of the game is to catch it on the rebound in one fluid motion with no delay. So if you don't, you're basically fucked. It's really popular in the Philippines, and as Calvin has said, it's also popular in Florida. One of the reasons it is so popular is because you can bet on it.
And people from Florida are fucked up.
They'll bet on anything.
I said it. Yeah, we're weird.
Hey, dude, I'm from Illinois. We're super weird. We put cheese on everything.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Corn. I mean, there's a lot of corn.
I like to think of myself from Wisconsin, so I agree that cheese is great on everything.
Cheese is pretty good on everything. But so yeah, it's good to know that they like cheese down in Florida, along with highlight. It's something where I don't know. I don't think I'd really play it. And this was also a sport where it's pretty hard to find anyone with world records or that really was on a best team. There's Victor Valcarce. I don't know. But he's also kind of in the same vein as the president of the Bureau of Extreme Ironing, because he's the president of the American Highlight Foundation. There's also this guy who was just named Randy, and it's all capital letters everywhere I found it, so maybe it's just Randy!
It reminds me of the Aziz Ansari character from Funny People. He was Randy with 8 A's.
Randy. If you've never seen Trailer Park Boys, the character Randy on that is also... That's who I think of when I hear anyone named Randy. He's a big shirtless fat guy who...
A lot of great Randys out there,
yeah.
I think we're finding out.
Yeah, I mean, I might change my name to Randy. But that sounds weird. Randy Richardson. Huh.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that's good advice. I'd say that's pretty sound. I couldn't put that on anything. But yeah, he was the first American to turn pro, like, back in the 60s. So overall, highlight's pretty much an amateur sport. So someone like Calvin could walk in there, challenge someone else, and, game on.
Die?
Yeah, and
I don't believe Calvin would die, I think he would be one of the greatest.
Wait, why am
of
I
all
the one
time.
getting volunteered to do this?
Because you're already there, bro. I would have to fly down there, and it's a big hassle and wait lines. I don't even know if I'd want to play.
I mean, I got a couch for you to stay on if you need somewhere to stay while you go play highlight.
I mean,
I can't sleep my back.
To Florida, there's bugs the size of my head there, and snakes. I think I'll pass snakes. I live in Nashville. That's a bit much for me.
Yeah, you got some
It's
crap over there too.
Just gotta watch out for alligators.
So I will punch an alligator in the face.
Don't do that. That's a worse idea than trying to play highlight.
I don't know. I think I could run away from an alligator now. A highlight ball
you could
going
run
like
away from one. Not if you punch it in the face. You couldn't.
Yeah, they're pretty quick, man. They're like bears. It'll scoot.
Snap your arm off before you can even think.
I don't know if you guys ever watch Archer, but I want to say in one of the episodes,
love that show.
Wasn't there like an assassin that was trying to take out Archer, and he played highlight, and he was just like he's a deadly assassin because he plays this game. I swear, I don't know.
Sounds about right. Do not. Yeah, that sounds Archer-esque.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't catch it first on Archer. I imagine that was probably a lot of people's first introduction to Highlight. I actually saw it on Jackass, like way back in the day.
That's where I saw
And
it on. I'm like, I've
What's it
seen
about?
and you
this.
just saw. Have you seen it, Calvin?
No, I haven't, but that sounds like
Oh,
something the jackasses would partake in.
dude, it looks like it hurts so bad, and they use fruit. So like Steve-O catches an
Oh,
orange in the leg, and I swear to God, it looks like he got shot. Like it blows out from under him, and he is on the ground. And as a younger male, I was just like, holy shit, that was wild. I was super into it, and growing up, I kind of I had an affinity for combat sports, football, wrestling, uh, you know, karate. Um, and it just looked like a ton of fun because it's like, oh shit, I get to throw this big heavy ball at people until I watched the end of the episode of Jackass, and then I was like, I'm good. I don't want to do that.
yeah. Weren't they like aiming for specific parts of the Neil anatomy in that, or were they just like hoping to get hit by it and hope that they don't get hit there?
They actually turned around, so so they can't see the ball incoming, which I think would be even worse.
Yeah.
And they just kind of stuck their butts out like they're trying to, pick someone up on the Vegas Strip. And these guys were amateurs apparently, but I mean they were like little assassins with an orange in a basket. And it's like, oh my god, I'm good. I'm good. Feels like prison. Calvin, you should really watch that episode.
No, I'm good.
Well, I've never actually been to prison, but I did watch The Wire, so I know everything there is to know about prison.
That's it. It's the exact same thing.
I don't. Yeah, no. I'm good. And that's
Karla, what are the BBBs?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so I chose to do BBBs from Sydney, Australia, because these people are nuts, and oh man, anything associated with sports with this place is pretty bonkers. So I got some fun.
Anything associated with anything in Australia is bonkers.
It is. It's almost as bad as Florida, but we won't go there.
That's fair.
So, and a lot of my boobs, booze, and bizarre, Nick, I tried to include some strange laws from these places. So for our boobs section, I'll start out with the Olympics. There was an order for an extra 20,000 condoms that had to be placed after running out of the initial 70,000 during the 2000 Sydney Games for the athletes. Since then, an order of 100,000 condoms is the norm. Those people
that is
are
a
getting down.
shitload of condoms.
That's a lot of condoms.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of sex. I mean, there's going to be some really athletic babies born 9 months after that.
How can anyone even do the sports
Well,
afterwards?
there won't be
So
babies
tired.
born though because they had
The
enough
condoms.
condoms.
Well, things happen. Stuff breaks.
Way to be responsible, Olympic athletes.
That is true.
Now, does it have the logo on them? That's what I'm curious about.
Oh, I need to know this.
Or do they come in? Do you get gold, silver, and bronze condoms?
And all
Like the woman demotes you if you're not good. You start off with gold, but you get demoted as you move through the lines.
I was
Oh,
gonna
that'd be
say,
so bad.
it makes you wonder if everybody goes for the gold ones and then all these bronze and silver ones are left over, or if it's the other way around. Like nobody gets the gold standard. Sorry, guys.
I think grabbing the gold one would be a lot to live up to. Like you'd really have to bring your A game, and I feel like the Olympic athletes probably don't want to bring their A game for their nightly activities. They want to save that for on the
Yeah,
field
I
or
don't
court.
know. I mean, those Olympic athletes, there's a lot of really fine people out there. And also, do they wear the wrappers around their necks like the medals themselves? Or they're like, boom, I'm gold medal, son. How do you like me now?
Like the yogurt lids from The Office.
Exactly,
They wrap them on
exactly.
paper clips.
You just see Shaun White walking around with like 6 bronze. What's up? Everybody's like, fuck off, Shaun. We're sick of you.
I think they're like that anyways with Shaun White.
Probably.
Like he seems like he's an annoying dude after like the first half hour you're hanging out with him.
Right.
First 12 minutes, you're like, man, get. Ugh.
I mean, Shaun White, if you want to come on the show, we'd be happy to have you. But
Yeah. For only a
you
half
seem
hour.
pretty annoying.
Only a half hour.
Yeah. Yeah. you
Shaun
only get
White
30
roast coming soon. Ooh.
minutes.
So the English founder of the city named it Manly Beach, as he was impressed by the manly behavior of the local indigenous people.
Way to go.
Yep.
It's
Points
very
for
creative,
originality.
too. Yeah.
In the Gold Coast, it is illegal for women to wear a bikini whose material does not exceed 6 square inches. Goodbye, Brazilian bikini bottoms. So, note to self: don't go to the Gold
That's a
Coast.
shame.
That's unfair.
Supposedly, now some of these laws, there's rumors that they still exist or that they're still on the books, but they may not all be true. But at one point, there was something associated with these. So, if a urinal is not readily available, it is legal to urinate on the rear left tire of your vehicle.
What about the right tire? Am I good there?
Nope, just the left. It's
Cop
less
rolls
offensive.
by like, you better switch it up. How
Yeah,
much
that's
is the fine? Is my question.
Oh, that's it. I don't know. I
Watch it
don't
be
know if
like
it's even enforced.
$7,000. It's like, you son of a bitch! Don't ever let me catch you peeing on your right tire instead of left.
That is very disrespectful. How dare you?
Out here, buddy.
So that does conclude our boobs section. For our booze, while playing cricket for Australia, David Boone is said to have consumed 52 cans of beer on a flight from Sydney to London in 1989.
You got shit on
That
Lou
seems
Boggs.
like a lot.
You just pretty much
That's
have to
true,
stay in
Wade
the
Boggs.
bathroom
Wade
the whole
Boggs.
time.
I don't know where I got Lou.
I don't know who Lou Boggs is, but Wade Boggs drank a lot on an airplane.
Yeah, Wade
according to
Boggs.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's right. But what did you say? 52 beers? That's still a lot of beer. Like, ugh. God, you'd be so full. I don't even know. I just roll around everywhere.
I would just be in the bathroom the whole time. I'd be like, well, drink another one, have to go pee again.
Get really dehydrated over
Yeah,
here.
like you'd definitely be just flying in that tiny ass bathroom on the plane. I don't
open the
doesn't
door,
seem like
call
it'd be
out to
worth
the
it.
stewardess. Another one, ma'am.
Need another one.
God, you'd be so drunk.
In 1954, Bob Hawke was immortalized by the Guinness Book of Records for drinking 2.5 pints of beer in 11 seconds. Bob later became the Prime Minister of Australia.
Nice. That is cash money right there.
I think, that's the best way you're gonna get elected in Australia is by drinking more than everybody else, and also if you can fight a kangaroo, that probably helps.
Yes,
do you think if, that's true. Do you think if
He has my vote.
Foster's? Do you think Foster's was the beer? I don't know if I'd want 2.5
I hope
pints
so.
of that.
Foster's
It's
is not actually Australian.
Oh,
but it's good though. Makes me feel
I've never
Australian.
had it.
Oh, it's delicious.
I don't know if we can be friends, Nick. This stuff is awful. It's terrible.
What?
I've heard it's bad.
Y'all are crazy. But okay, answer me this: do you all ask for IPAs on tap whenever you go to a restaurant?
No, gross.
I drink straight Miller Lite.
All right, then
That's
we're cool, man. We're cool.
Yeah, no, IPAs are awful. I'm a wheat beer person. What can I say?
When you're from Milwaukee, you only drink Miller Lite.
That's
the only thing they have
all.
there.
I guess it floated down to Chicago because that's all you can get within like 50 miles. I swear to God.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank God I'm from Denver, the craft beer capital of the world.
Also, Coors.
Coors is pretty good.
It's
Can we just
disgusting.
not talk about that?
It's
I
a
try to ignore
banquet
that part.
beer.
It's not good.
I think our craft beer is in response to Coors. Okay, so the longest line of pizza.
Foster, hold on, I gotta follow up on Foster real quick. It's created by two Irish-American brothers who arrived in Melbourne from New York in 1886. So I guess it was created in Australia, but they were not Australian.
Yeah, it
So,
counts.
I don't know who that helps.
It's Australian for beer, bro. So I mean, we already know.
That's what the commercial says.
I believe
Coors
it.
is also a banquet beer, so I mean, they're allowed to fib just a wee bit.
A lot of heavy lifting going on in with adjectives in beer commercials.
Our beer sucks, but we'll make it sound good.
Yeah, we'll make it sound fancy as shit.
Yeah, that's right. Bud Light Orange.
Ugh.
Gross. We
Uh,
can all agree that Bud Light's the worst, right?
yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right.
But how
All right,
about
Karla, back to
pizzas? Do you guys like pizza?
Yes.
Who doesn't
Okay.
like pizza?
We
So
had pizza for dinner earlier.
the longest line of pizzas in, again, the Guinness Book of World Records stretched at 221 meters in the Italian quarter of Leichhardt, and it is the longest line of pizza places in the world. Oh, I totally copied and pasted that very poorly. It's the longest line of pizza places in the world, supposedly. So it's
just a
pizza places, not
straight up
actual
pizza?
pizzas. Yeah, it's just pizza
That's-
places, like a chain of pizza places. So you
That's
don't
where
like,
you really get the variety, guys.
yeah, not Italy. Forget that.
You could do like a pub crawl, but with pizza. I like that idea.
That sounds like the best day of my life.
Extreme pizza.
That'd be good. Yeah, you bring your ironing board with you.
Somehow
new
we got to
thing.
figure out a way to remove all those pizza stains, but
That's not part of the ironing. That's okay.
it doesn't matter if it's stained, just as long as it's not wrinkled. Bars are required to stable, water, and feed the horses of their patrons. So that is still a law in the books. And it is illegal to be drunk in a pub.
What?
Yep. Yep.
I don't think that. How's that correct?
They have a similar law in the UK, which, you know, they're all prisoners from the UK. But yeah, it's true. It is illegal to be drunk in a pub. Now, do they actually follow that? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it, considering these
Unless
are
someone's
Australians.
unless someone's being a real asshole. They get that one American guy in the bar. They're like, this guy's just way too drunk to be here. We got to get him out of here.
Well, I've heard that the Australians can actually like drink us under the table. Like
Oh,
they
I'm sure
take it to
I'm
a
sure
whole
they
new
can.
level.
There's nothing else to do but look at beautiful scenery and get drunk and fight kangaroos. So let's move. I'm
Like
going
snakes
to
and
Australia.
spiders.
Yeah, they got big spiders, man. I don't do big spiders. I'm good.
Well, I've got some interesting facts about that too, so I'll go on to the bizarre here. So, after phasing out the Australian 1 and 2 cent coins in 1991, they were melted down and used in the Sydney 2000 Olympics as bronze medals and possibly condom wrappers.
Kind of medals, you mean?
Go
That's
for the
actually pretty
gold.
cool. I mean, that's a good one. I wish they'd get rid of all our pennies.
Yeah, no
turn
kidding.
them into bronze medals. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know when I guess I used pennies sometimes, but more just because they're there and you need to. But if they weren't there, it'd be nice.
Yeah, they just kind of
Take up a lot of space.
when you get.
Like, I know I have a
pennies,
change jar that's mostly full of things, but I could guarantee it's almost all pennies and probably not worth much.
Yeah, you got a big milk jug and it's worth like $3.
Probably worth more to melt down the copper and turn that in.
Yeah, probably.
I'll give that a try.
So yeah, good luck with that. Try not to burn anything down. In the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, a veterinary student named Barry Larkin protested against the torch relay by carrying a fake flame consisting of a pair of underpants set on fire and a plum pudding can attached to a chair leg. He successfully managed to hand over the fake flame to the mayor of Sydney.
Who punched him for making the air smell like shit?
That was actually kind of my thought. I'm like, are these clean underpants or not?
So,
I'd have to go with no.
yeah, some guy
Why would
named
you want
Barry
clean-
Larkin.
You would really ruin your prank if they were clean underpants, I would think.
But
Yeah.
they can't be too dirty. Let's not be sickos here.
I mean, he was a veterinary student, so maybe he had some decency. Who knows? In 2010, a group of 4 men attempted to ride their jet ski from London to Sydney, which is about 31,000 kilometers. I won't convert this to miles because I'm lazy. They did reach Greece before they ran into bad weather on the Mediterranean Sea and had their jet skis submerged, forcing them to call the Greeks Coast Guard for rescue.
Idiots.
Well, at least they got a trip to Greece.
Yeah.
True that.
That might be a better trip.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, that sounds terrifying. Who would want to be in the middle of the ocean on jet skis? I'm just saying. People are crazy.
Sharks, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'd be more worried about the seagulls, to be honest. Those things are vicious assholes.
I'd be more worried about like the waves and just the water in general.
Yes, sir, you are correct.
You got to
Weather.
get past those things before any of the animals can hurt you.
Saltwater, especially. I mean, that's pretty deadly shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Australians have a fantastic sense of humor when it comes to suburb names. They include Humpy Bong, Woolloomooloo, Woolloomulu, Nowhere Else, End of the World, Mount Buggery, and Ozenkadnuk, which means very fat kangaroo in the local Aboriginal dialect. So there's your kangaroo.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds wild.
Yeah. Could you imagine having to write that on your address every time you had to fill out some sort of form? No, thank you.
Yeah, you'd have to say, I swear it's the truth.
Yeah. Or just shorten it to something and be like, it's the OZ. Don't worry about it. The Sydney funnel web spider, here you go, has fangs larger than a brown...
I've been waiting for the spiders.
Just one. Has fangs larger than a brown snake's fangs. They are large enough to penetrate human toe and fingernails easily. Human death has also been known to occur within 15 minutes of its bite.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sydney sounded fun until
at least you're going to go out quick.
Probably really painfully, though, because, I mean, if it's a blood coagulant or something like that, and you just turn into a big Jell-O cup, that would suck.
Yeah.
Pleasant.
Let's not get bit by any spiders in Australia.
Let's just not go. And because, no.
Let's take our jet skis.
But on the other hand, koalas sleep for 18 hours, meaning that over an average 10-year lifespan, they are only awake for about 2.5 years.
That sucks.
Now, I did hear something that all koalas have chlamydia. I haven't confirmed that, but I have heard that.
I've heard that too. There's like this massive chlamydia outbreak with koalas because I guess that's a thing with koalas.
You have to check that out.
So I got a few more here and then I'll be done. But the Australian coat of arms has a kangaroo and an emu on it. The reason being kangaroos and emos, not even, no one with a bad black haircut, terrible piercings and black eyeliner. Emus can't go backwards. They can only walk or hop forward. Yeah, so I think it's the idea that Australia is moving forwards. Australia's first police force was a band of 12 of the most well-behaved convicts.
What? Just like, you guys watch out for these other cons, and you don't let them do anything bad. Oh, you got it. Yep.
Yep. You've been good today, and so now you'll police the rest of them. This will go well.
It's like the Stanford prison experiment all over. See, Australians are a different breed. In America, that would have went really badly.
Oh, dear Lord. I was going to say...
much bigger scale there in Australia.
Yeah, if you guys haven't... To your listeners, or my listeners, or whoever's currently listening to this, a podcast about something did an episode on psychological experiments, and the Stanford prison experiment was one of those. Listen to it. It is bananas. It's so wild.
That was episode 47. It's only a couple weeks ago. Check it out.
Yeah, it's great. So last one, and it is one more law, supposedly. I didn't double check these. I just took the website's word for it. It was mental floss, to be fair. It is illegal to dress up as Robin and Batman.
Fuck, looks like I'm going to jail.
Now, are you Robin or are you Batman? That's the question.
I'm Batman.
Calvin, does that make you Robin?
He's Batman too. He's Val Kilmer Batman.
Can we both be Batman?
I'm Christian Bale Batman because I'm way cooler.
Can I be Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Val Kilmer Batman was the worst Batman.
George
I think we talked about that when we were talking about the Riddler. Nah, Kilmer was worse. Clooney was fine.
I like Clooney. Thank you. Someone is on my side.
Batman and Robin was a worse movie, but Clooney was better than Kilmer.
Yes, he was 100%. But I'll still take
Val
the Adam
Kilmer
West.
had a weird lisp the whole time.
Because he's Val Kilmer, bro.
I guess he's the Iceman. No, seen Top Gun.
No, I was just thinking they're making Top Gun 2, and if you haven't seen that dude looks like shit. Oh my god,
he got really big for a while.
Yeah,
I think he started to go back down.
He got throat cancer. Like, he was like fighting that. Yeah, man. So he looks like 75 now, and Tom Cruise is over here like, "What's up, bro?"
Tom Cruise has been 27 for his entire life.
Scientology,
right? I was just gonna say that they've cracked it.
Bastards.
Well, at least they can do one thing right.
We're going to get so much hate from Scientologists. They're going to be like, Lord L. Ron Hubbard was the best. Don't you ever speak ill. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to listen to it first, and like, I'm not gonna tag it with Scientology, so I don't think they're gonna come across this. They're not allowed to listen to anything that they're not allowed to. So I think just talking about Australia, they're out already.
Right. They're like, kangaroos go against our religion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they don't believe Australia exists. I'm pretty sure. So we're over that. We're good there.
All right, we're safe. We're cool. So that ends it for my boobs, booze, and bazaar on Sydney. I could do almost a whole episode on that place. It is insane. They're so crazy down there.
Well, if
Sounds
only
like
you
it.
had like some platform that you could discuss whatever you wanted on, then maybe you could do that someday.
Yeah, I'll have to keep my eye out for that one.
Yeah. Good luck. The koalas. So the koala chlamydia. Coming right back to that real quick because I looked it up. Populations in Queensland have suggested at least half of wild koalas are infected with the disease, possibly even more. That's from the New York Times.
Oh,
Huh.
lovely.
I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, they must get some serious action, or there's one, really bad person. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was gonna say they sleep.
One guy fucked it up for the whole koalas.
They sleep for 18 hours of the day, so that other 6 and for 5.5.
They're just banging.
Yeah, they have to be. If it's spreading like that, that's all they're doing is eating eucalyptus and begging.
At the same
Maybe they're
time,
getting it from the eucalyptus. Maybe we missed something.
Biological warfare. Bum, bum, bum.
One last thing before we all sign off. We did ask on Twitter what's some favorite obscure sports. We got a little bit of feedback from the hashtag No Offense Show, fellow Florida podcaster there. They're a huge fan of curling, and One Star Bazaar agrees with them. Like, I feel like curling is not obscure anymore. Like, everybody, when the Winter Olympic comes on, everybody's into curling.
And it's because of the pants. I swear to it's because of those darn pants. That was the only reason I started noticing
because
it.
of the brooms.
it's either
A
skiing
sport
or
where you
curling.
just get the brooms. And then from Retrospection Radio, somebody said lightsaber dueling is starting to be recognized in some areas.
It's true.
Like, sign me up for that. How do I get into lightsaber dueling? Because I think I could be good at that.
The precursor to that was the this is a thing, the cardboard rolls that come in your wrapping paper. Yeah, like basically fencing with those is a sport.
Lightsaber sounds cooler.
Yeah,
Way cooler.
Because it lights up and goes.
Especially if the soundtrack to the original Star Wars is playing in the background. I would get so down on that.
No, you gotta have Duel of Fates on. It's the only song to lightsaber battle to. That's the Darth Maul one at the end of episode 1.
Which is the only good part about episode 1. I'm sorry.
We'll discuss that. It's not, but we'll discuss that.
Pod racing is kind of tight too.
Pod racing's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of cool stuff in episode 1. It just gets lost amongst the not cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's a story for a different day. If only we had a platform to discuss it somewhere.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
I think that's all I got too.
Cool.
Thanks to Karla from Go Postal Podcast for joining us today. She's on a little hiatus right now on her podcast, but the feed's still live. You can go check out all of her old stuff, and she told us she will be back in a few weeks with new episodes, and you can probably listen to this one again, which, if it was me, I'd listen to it again, wouldn't you, Nick?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times, in fact. She was definitely really fun to record with, so guys, check out that feed.
Yep, thanks a lot. You can always follow us on Twitter at APA something, and you can send us emails to a podcast about something. Just a reminder, we are doing life advice next week, so if you want our advice on anything, drop us an email or a tweet at either of the things I just said, and we'll give you our mostly terrible advice on how we think you should live your life.
Yes, I mean, some advice is better than no advice, unless it's terrible advice.
Yeah, we're going to see if that holds to be true or not.
I cannot wait.
All the music for Podcast About Something is provided by Those Cats.
And if you guys haven't yet, get on iTunes and review us, guys. We love them reviews, and you guys stay sassy.
Stay close.